Hi everyone, this is Vice President of One Coach Adrian Ulsh. We're sitting here in spectacular San Diego. It's a beautiful sunny June day, and I have the privilege of being here today with our One Coach COO, Susie Carter. Susie, welcome.
Thanks, Adrian. I'm excited to be here and I can't beat this place.
Well, I'll tell you, it's just great, and we're happy to have all of you join us today. Susie is one of our premier experts in the country on growing successful businesses. Most of you know about One Coach, and that's exactly what we do is we help you grow your business, take you from wherever you're at to wherever you want to be. And Susie's going to give us some great tips today on what are really the basic fundamentals required to grow a successful business. We thought you guys would like to have some of that information. So Susie, what do you think?
You know what I like when I'm really looking at a business and evaluating a business, one, for me to start, I'm what you guys call a serial entrepreneur, love the building of it, the excitement of it, and there's a study that says 85% of small businesses close within the first 5 years, which is sad. It shouldn't happen. And so really looking at what are those foundational things you need to put in place, because when you have those, as we teach at One Coach, then you'll put that system in place and allow the system to support you in building the business. And one of the first things is really creating a really strong vision and having your team be part of that business in growing the vision. So I know that we work a lot with vision and want to share just a little bit from the One Coach perspective, and then I'll share from an entrepreneur's perspective.
Well, Susie, I think we've learned at One Coach that in order to accomplish your goals and objectives, you have to be able to see them clearly.
Right.
And I know from talking to small business owners, we do a lot of business assessments, and a lot of them just don't have a clue what they're trying to accomplish or even why they got into it. Most small business owners are actually technicians. They started out with a real love and a passion and a great skill set in doing something that they're just extraordinary at. And they wanted to take advantage of that and create a business around it. Unfortunately, they forget that they've got to know marketing and sales and finance, and they really need to have that vision of where it is they're trying to get to and what are the fundamental component parts that they're going to need in order to reach that goal.
And a vision has to inspire you.
It does.
You've got to wake up every morning wanting to do this thing that you've created. And your vision calls you forth to be a bigger person. It really has you play on a whole nother level.
So, Susie, what's another fundamental that we need to kind of get into for small business growth?
Really measuring. What's worth doing is worth measuring. So if we're measuring the success of a business, if we're measuring every aspect of the business, looking at how many orders, how many conversations do I need to have to actually obtain an order, depending on what business you have, each business has some key indicators that can use to be measuring your business. And if you're not measuring, you don't know how you're doing.
Well, one thing that we try to tell small business owners is it's so easy today to get into overwhelm.
Right.
Everybody's saying you've got to have all of this stuff, and we're always going on the Pareto's Law principle of 80-20, that there's just a few things that if you get them right, it'll produce massive revenue. And what would you say would be just a few of the key critical indicators, a few of the measurements that small business owners really need to focus on to make the biggest difference? What are those 20%, so to speak?
The biggest thing is really looking at your average sale per client. Looking at how much each customer is spending when they come into your business. Whether you are a consulting business, whether you're an automotive business, you're going to look at that client count and then look how much they're spending with you. Another thing you want to look at is your retention and what is the lifetime value of that customer. And look at how many turns that customer comes in. And when I mean a turn, it's on average with One Coach, our clients stay 2 to 7 years. And that depends on what levels of coaching they go into, what programs they're active in, and really looking at that as one of the indicators. Looking at your fallout. How many clients are we losing? A lot of people don't want to talk about the bad news because when you lose a client, there's some really juicy information there. I mean, I don't want to know that, I want to know if a client's unhappy with us and what can we do to improve upon that. That's a key indicator.
And listen, I think it's important for all of you to realize Susie just said something very important when she said that our clients will stay with us anywhere from 2 to 7 years. And that's if they're involved in our coaching programs. And we have a lot of clients who come in and they don't feel they need coaching. They want to do it on their own, and they're gone within 3 months because they won't do it on their own. There's no accountability. They get bogged down in the minutia of what they're doing. It's just so important for all of you to realize in your business that the more you can involve your clients in the client experience, the longer they'll stay with you, the more money they'll spend. One of the things that we try and teach is become an expert in your field so that people know you and trust you and you've established the rapport. And you know, when that happens and you have the right client, what we refer to as the ideal client, they not only will buy from you, they'll buy from you forever. In fact, they'll demand that you create additional products and services for them to buy because they want them and they trust you to deliver those.
You know what, you said a great thing. Most people, when you look at great athletes, there's always somebody behind the athlete. You know, you look at Tiger Woods, he's got a coach in his business. You know, you look at basketball players, they go off the court and go onto the sidelines and they start immediately getting that huddle with their coach. And a coach will really tell you what you don't want to hear. And a coach will show you what you don't want to see so that you can be the person you knew that you can be. That's key. I know you're an advocate of that. I'm an advocate of, if I want to play bigger, I got to find someone that has done what I've done, and then they're playing 10 times bigger. I mean, we're in conversations and having coffee with John, and he's talking about billions. And, you know, sometimes my eyes go cross-eyed. I'm like, okay, well, I'm in for that conversation and everything we need to learn to be in that conversation. But you got to hang out with the right people.
And so much of it is specialized. Tiger Woods, you brought him up, 10 coaches. He's got 10 coaches.
Really? I didn't know that.
And he considers his most important coach his business coach. And I think that's always so amazing as we start out with coaches that we call parents.
Right.
And then as we get into school, our coaches become teachers.
Right.
As we grow into adulthood and get jobs, it becomes our bosses. Then we start our own business. Why is it we feel at that point we no longer need a coach?
Right. And so some of us spend thousands, and if not millions of dollars on the infrastructure, like the building, the inventory, whatever it is, and then they're not putting a business plan together. And so a lot of times we run into clients and the first thing I'll ask is, well, let me see your business plan. And there's two types of business plans. There's one that you put together in the beginning to understand where you're at. And then there's the business plan that every year we revisit that business plan. Are we on target for it? Can I manage my team from it? So it's a working business plan. So at any minute, if I need to raise money or if I need to have real juicy conversations with my staff or get coaching on my business, that business plan is imperative just for our survival. I'm a creative person naturally, so details, I have to really discipline myself for that. But then it's done for the year, and now we're just playing the game. We just go out on the court now and play the game full out.
And you know, I bet a lot of you are saying, you know what, I don't have a business plan either. And you need to realize it's really not your fault. Most business owners are very gung-ho, take charge type people. They're very entrepreneurial. And if you know anything about personality styles, we tend to fit into what we call the dominant style. And dominants are ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, aim. Just let me go and heck with the planning. And you know, they say that you can have 50 times better results if you take the time to plan ahead of time. And it's just one of those cases where we've really got to learn to discipline ourselves and to get that plan down and create the vision, know what it is that we want, know where it is we're trying to get to, and then develop a plan to help us get there instead of just going out and trying to wing it. And we see that every day, don't we?
Yes, we do.
People winging it, people, the first
thinking
thing,
about, I'm meditating, it's going to come to me,
yeah, or,
you know, it's going to fall from the sky.
let me give you my elevator pitch. What do you think about this? And I go, well, wait a minute, who's your ideal client? I don't know. What is it that they want? I don't know. Oh, so you're creating a message and you don't know who you're talking to or what they want. Does this make sense? And they wonder why they don't get any results, prospects, or clients.